There's only one thing that keeps us from raising our vibration, and in this video we're going to talk about what that one thing is. Hello my beautiful friends, my name is Carrie Cox. Welcome to my channel. In today's video we're talking about the only thing that keeps us from raising our vibration. If this is your first time here, please hit the red subscribe button below and smash that bell notification button so that you can be notified when I release future videos. For me, 2021 has been the year of letting go. Letting go of all attachments, because attachments is the one thing that keeps us from raising our vibration. If we have attachments to other people or to circumstances that have happened to us in our past, we are giving our power away. And when we are giving our power away, we cannot raise our vibration. In order to raise our vibration, we need to take our power back. And it is the attachments that we have created to other people that are keeping us from standing in our own power. So today we're going to talk about what are attachments. Well, anytime I put my energy or focus to someone or something, I am giving a piece of myself to that circumstance. So let's say I'm working with a client. I'm actually giving them, I'm opening my heart and I'm giving them a piece of me because I'm sharing my vibration and my energy with them. Now, when they leave, they're taking that piece that I gave them with them unless I take my power back. So we are creating attachments and cords to everything we come in contact with out there. And so what it's really about is bringing our energy back to us. The way I visually see it is I picture, Predator who has all those like tubes hanging off the back of him. Like I picture all these tubes and cords coming out of us and attaching to other people. So maybe the other end of a cord is one of my ex-lovers is at the other end of a cord that needs to be cut. Why am I still giving energy to that person when I haven't seen them in 20 years? I don't need to give them my power anymore. I need to take my power back. Maybe I got into a fight with a person out driving. Let's say somebody cuts me off and I lose my temper and I say some mean things out loud in the car towards that person. I have just now verbally shot daggers at them, and now I just made a connection to them. So now I have a cord to some stranger I don't even know who now just took a piece of my power. So imagine that on a big scale of every moment of every day, how much of our power we're giving away. These are like power hooks in people. We're like hooking to all these different people. Now, we can also hook to what are called egregores. An egregore is a group thought. So let's say you decide at some point you're following the crowd, and because the crowd believes this, let's say the crowd decides oranges are now red, and you now follow this belief that oranges are now red. You have now hooked into that egregore because you now believe what this group believes. And this is happening to us on some massive levels. Think of the size, because every time that egregore is fed with that thought, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So celebrities have become like egregores, and the more people are hooked into them and the more they're giving that celebrity their energy, their mental thoughts, they are feeding that egregore and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Imagine let's take an egregore of let's say Trump, because the thought of Trump either really excites some people or really infuriates some people. Imagine all the cords and all the hooks in this huge egregore. Think of it as this big black entity out there, and it's got all these hooks in it and all these cords to millions and millions of people. Some are feeding it negative energy and some are feeding it positive energy. And depending on how much of either is being fed into this egregore, is giving it power. Well, if you don't want to be giving your power away to it, you need to cut that cord, that attachment to that egregore. Otherwise, pieces of your power are being fed to that entity. And sometimes these entities can grow so massive in power that they actually manifest into physical power here on Earth. Imagine the amount of energy that's being fed to celebrities, to people like Elon Musk, to people like Bill Gates, to people, it doesn't even matter who they are. It depends on what is being fed, what kind of energy is being fed. So you want to detach yourself from all egregores, all other people, all thoughts, everything. You want to have no attachments. And when you have no attachments to anything, you are now a free and sovereign being. And that is the goal in our spiritual journey, is to become a free and sovereign being. That is our birthright. That is what we are all entitled to become. It is a process. It is a process to become that, because we have to start letting go of all those attachments. We have to find what we are attached to, and that will be revealed to us layer by layer by layer. I do a lot of cord cutting and energy work with people, and it's like when I first start working with them, we're only going to be exposed to whatever web has been weaved on the outside, and then we work our way into those inner, deeper, darker places. But we got to start somewhere, and we got to work towards it. So it's not like you're going in and you're just whoop, remove all attachments. It doesn't quite work like that. We need to like individually remove as many of them as we can. And when you get going on a flow of that, the thought of what you need to let go of will start to just come in, and you'll know what you need to let go of. But it's the letting go that is allowing us to raise our vibration. If we look at this chart here of the power versus force chart, we can see that we have different emotions that are on different energy levels. These are very low, dense vibrations up to very high vibrations. When we start letting go of these lower vibrations like shame, guilt, grief, and fear, we're letting go. That's where we want to let go first. We got to be down here and we got to move up. We got to start in the dark, and we need to start exposing the light. And the more dark, heavy, dense energies we can let go of, the more space we can create to then find acceptance for that, to find love for that. But we have to look. We have to take a journey within, and we have to look at those. What are we angry about? What are we resenting? What do we feel shame about? Shame is the lowest vibration there is. And so what are we holding shame for? Like, we need to cut those attachments, let go of them. And the more and more we do that, the more and more we find acceptance, we find neutrality, then we start to find love. And then we can actually put the energy of love towards those things. But when we're so riddled in those lower vibrations, it's really hard to even see that it is even possible to put a vibration like love against something like shame. But it's very possible. It just takes work of letting go of these attachments. I've worked with many people who will say to me, oh, I reconciled that, a long time ago. I had a mom who was a narcissist, and I let go of that a long time ago. Okay, and then we go in and we do this inner work, and we're doing cord cutting, and we find out that, yeah, maybe mentally they let go of the thought of that because they thought they let go of it, but they're still holding on to it in the body. And doing something like a cord cutting kind of links that thought of the mind with the body, and you're actually removing it. You're visually removing it from the body, and that's a whole nother level of healing. It ends up creating this deep level of healing, which has an effect on us biologically. We actually have deep cellular healing when we start to let go of those lower vibrations we're holding onto in our body. We start to heal on a deep cellular level. I know as I was cutting cords of all these lower vibrations, I felt like my digestive system was turning on for the first time. I had days of purging and weird noises being made, but I know that it was my physical body, my physical gut was also now releasing, because I visually released those cords from my gut. It was like now my gut can actually operate because there's not all these blocks within there. We use things like inflammation, phlegm, mucus, that all crystallizes inside of us. And as you start to let go of these lower vibrational energies, that stuff will turn to water and actually move out of you. And that may sound crazy, but it's so true. I see it happen all the time. I will go through a cord cutting process with somebody, and all of a sudden all of this mucus and snot is being loosened and coming out of them, and they're like, where did all this come from? I wasn't even sick. It was all crystallized inside of them, and it's loosening now, and it's moving because you're moving the stagnant energy, which is that crystallized energy inside of us. Our body is made of like 90% water. Well, that water gets stagnant over time. It crystallizes. And when we do this healing work, we actually start to create flow in that again. And we actually can move it out of the body. I've done some shadow work sessions where I am spitting spit into a bucket for hours. And that is me purging out everything that was crystallized here in my body, in my chest, in my throat. And it seems crazy, but afterwards you feel like $1,000,000, like you just let go of so much weight inside, because there is physical weight to our emotional weight. So we all have these like repressed memories and emotions inside, things that we kind of typically just ignore or we're unconscious to them. And as you're going through a journey and a healing process, they start to come forward because they are ready to come out of the dark and into the light. And letting go of those attachments is doing that. It's moving it from the dark to the light and letting go of it, releasing it. When we had those feelings and those emotions locked away, we were creating a sense of safety for ourselves. We were protecting ourselves. So there was a good purpose for it. It was so that we could just cope with being here in life and doing the earthly things we have to do, like work in the matrix and survive and pay bills. But at some point, that isn't enough. We want more. And when you want more and you're motivated to do the work, you can actually move past those attachments, release them, and then life isn't so mundane anymore. Life isn't lived unconsciously. Now, when you come into your power, you realize that you can co-create and manifest anything you want. All those years you were manifesting a closed down heart chakra, which was getting you nowhere. It was just a coping mechanism to survive. You can do the same thing in that opposite light. You can now co-create and manifest the life of your dreams. Whatever you desire, you can have, because you are now living it in flow, in an open way. There's nothing holding you down. I often get asked, well, do I have to cut cords the rest of my life? Well, yeah, you have to be on this journey the rest of your life. And once you open your eyes, you can't unsee what you saw. You can't ignore it anymore. And so, yeah, we're going to continuously cut cords the rest of our lives. But that big shift for us happens when we go in and we cut cords or cut attachments to those old 3D paradigms, and we create space to allow new systems to be built within us, new experiences to happen on a higher vibrational level. This is now where we're shifting from that 3D to the 5D, because we're creating the space for the 5D to come in and to help us and to guide us. So if you are struggling with letting go of attachments, do some shadow work, do some inner child work, find some guided meditations to help guide you through these releases. I will put some links below in the description box of this video on things that I offer that could help with letting go. You want to do some cord cutting, you want to do meditation, you want to find relaxation, you want to get out in nature. When you're out in nature, that helps you to let go of the energies of the city, whether you've been inundated with EMF or 5G, whatever it is, the nature and getting away from the city is ultimately very healing. Seek out somebody who can help you, either a coach or an energy healer. They could help you raise your vibrations and get to that next level. The only way that you're going to truly raise your vibration is to start letting go of attachments, breaking free of the old paradigm, and creating a new one. I thank you, my beautiful friends, for being here with me today. Please hit the like button below and share this video with your friends. Love and light, so be it.